Welcome to The Explainer. If you're the kind of person who likes to cut through the noise and get straight to the facts, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're taking a hard look at a massive, multi-billion-dollar industry that basically thrives on our desire for quick fixes. We're talking about the weight loss supplement market. You know the drill. You walk into a pharmacy or scroll through your phone, and you are just bombarded with bottles promising to effortlessly melt away the pounds. But what's actually inside those things? And more importantly, are they even safe? We're going to break down the hard science and the pretty shocking legal loopholes of this massive industry. So here's the million-dollar, or rather multi-billion-dollar question, right? Is there a magic pill for weight loss? Can popping a daily supplement actually replace the hard work of diet and exercise? Or are millions of us essentially being sold a very expensive and potentially dangerous myth? It is super tempting to think we can bypass the gym just by swallowing a capsule. But today, we're going to let the data do the talking. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the magic pill myth, decode those actual ingredients, navigate the regulatory Wild West, look at a really eye-opening case study, and then wrap up with a sensible approach. All right, part 1, the magic pill myth. What we expect versus what the science actually says. You see the ads all the time. Supplement makers claim their products will block fat, totally crush your appetite, or magically speed up your metabolism. It sounds amazing, right? But here is the harsh reality check, straight from the National Institutes of Health. Quote, "There's little scientific evidence that weight loss supplements work." That's a pretty definitive statement. You'd naturally assume these companies are running massive, rigorous trials before stocking the shelves, but no. They rarely carry out human studies to prove they work or even that they're safe. And on the rare occasion they do, the studies are usually incredibly small and only last a few weeks. To really know if something works long-term, you need large groups studied for months, if not years. Moving right along to part 2, decoding supplement ingredients. Are these nature's miracles or just marketing hype? If the science isn't there, what exactly are we paying for? Let's look at the stuff routinely stuffed into these bottles. Take coffee beans, for example. They're a natural source of caffeine, which is probably the most common stimulant you'll find in weight loss supplements. You'll often see it disguised on the label as guarana, kola nut, or yerba mate. Now, caffeine might give you a tiny temporary boost in calorie burning at first, but here's the catch. Your body builds a tolerance to it super fast, so over time, any little weight loss effect just vanishes. You know what doesn't vanish, though? The side effects from taking massive, concentrated doses. We're talking severe jitters, nausea, vomiting, and a rapid, really uncomfortable heartbeat. Or consider the chili pepper. These have an ingredient called capsaicin. It's what gives them their heat. Supplement companies love to claim capsaicin literally burns fat. The truth, it hasn't been studied anywhere near enough to prove it helps you drop a single pound. But it absolutely has been proven to cause acute stomach pain, burning sensations, and bloating when concentrated into a pill. So you're essentially paying good money to give yourself a stomachache under the guise of natural fat burning. Let's run through a quick cheat sheet of 3 superstars of the supplement aisle. Garcinia cambogia? Little to no effect on weight loss, but it can definitely hand you a headache and some nausea. African mango? You might lose a very, very tiny amount of weight, but you'll likely trade it for sleep problems and, well, intense gas. And green tea extract? Again, maybe a small amount of weight loss, but the side effects really escalate here. It can spike your blood pressure, and in some users, it's actually been linked to severe liver damage. The payoff is just consistently minimal, while the list of uncomfortable and sometimes really dangerous side effects is huge. Let's jump to part 3, the regulatory Wild West. How do these things even get on the shelves? You're probably wondering, if these products don't really work and can cause liver damage or heart palpitations, how is it completely legal to sell them? Well, it all comes down to a massive legal loophole. With prescription drugs, the FDA requires rigorous review and absolute proof of safety and effectiveness before they can be sold to you. But dietary supplements? Nope. They do not require FDA review, and manufacturers do not have to prove their products are safe before putting them out there. Let that sink in for a second. They can just bottle it up, slap a fat burner label on the front, and sell it to you without a single government scientist verifying it won't hurt you. Because of this loophole, our whole regulatory environment is entirely reactive. The FDA and the Federal Trade Commission basically only step in to take action after an unsafe supplement is already on the market and being sold. They essentially have to wait for people to get sick and report adverse events before they can request a recall. So consumers are effectively acting as unpaid, completely unknowing test subjects for this industry. Which brings us to part 4, hidden dangers. Let's look at a case study. the Zero Extreme Recall. To show you just how real this gets, let's look at a concrete case study. A while back, a company called Fat Burners Zone was selling a product online called Zero Extreme. It was marketed simply as a normal dietary supplement for weight loss. But when the FDA finally ran an analysis on it, they discovered it was adulterated. It was secretly tainted with a completely unlisted pharmaceutical drug. That secret ingredient hiding inside those capsules was a chemical called sibutramine. What is that exactly? It's an active pharmaceutical appetite suppressant. But here's the absolute craziest part. It was actually withdrawn from the US market entirely back in 2010 due to severe safety concerns. So a banned, dangerous pharmaceutical was just secretly being fed to consumers who thought they were buying a standard over-the-counter supplement. And we're talking about serious, potentially lethal cardiovascular threats here. Clinical data show that sibutramine actually increases your risk of having a heart attack. It increases the risk of stroke. It substantially spikes your blood pressure and your pulse rate. If someone with a history of heart disease took this quote-unquote natural supplement, the results could literally be fatal. And they'd never even know what hit them because the ingredient wasn't even on the label. This right here is exactly why health officials urge so much caution. When you see marketing that promises a magic diet pill or claims you can melt away fat without diet or exercise, you've got to be incredibly suspicious. Remember the old saying? If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. These products often aren't just a waste of money. As we just saw, they can be actively tainted and incredibly dangerous. Let's wrap things up with part 5, the sensible approach. What actually works? Okay, if the pills are a bust, let's ground ourselves back in reality. Here are the tried and true, science-backed steps for sustainable weight loss. 1. Follow a healthy eating plan. 2. Reduce your calories. 3. Exercise regularly. And 4. Do all of this while consulting your healthcare provider. I know, it's not glamorous, it doesn't come in a shiny bottle with lightning bolts on it, but unlike those expensive pills, this is the method that actually safely transforms your body. Plus, think about the bonus benefits. When you skip the sketchy supplements and commit to real lifestyle changes, you get these incredible, scientifically validated health boosts that go way beyond the number on a scale. Eating right and moving your body improves your mood. It skyrockets your energy levels. You are actively lowering your risk of heart disease, lowering your risk of diabetes, and even lowering the risk of certain cancers. Literally no pill on earth can put that on its resume. Which leaves us with one final question to think about. Are we really willing to risk our hearts, our livers, and our overall health for an expensive shortcut that science proves doesn't even work? The supplement industry absolutely thrives on our impatience, but true health is a long game. The next time you see a magic pill promised online, remember what we uncovered today. Save your money and invest in yourself instead. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Stay curious, stay focused, and I'll catch you next time.